Courtney. After the Georgia game, you said that this team is kind of a figure it out yourself kind of team. Knowing how competitive you all are, I'm sure that the past week has stung a little with some of the losses. Just what response are you hoping to see from those results?
Well, I hope that we play better. I don't think that we played all that great on Tuesday night, and I think that UCA is a really tough team. So I'm not looking at that game as being anything bigger than, I mean, we're not a great matchup for them, if I'm being really honest. What they do really well is tough for us. And so I just hope that we respond and play better this weekend.
And then I was listening to Hannah's radio segment earlier, and she said that kind of the most important thing for her this year has been just trying to not get outside of herself. And I'd assume this goes for the whole team. Just can you speak more on maybe some areas you've seen growth in that, and then maybe some lessons still to be learned?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody always has lessons to learn in that area with a game like softball or baseball, is you can easily get outside of the moment of thinking that you need to do more, or thinking one moment's bigger than the next, or living in what's happened or what's going to happen. And so you just start to overthink or get mental. I mean, that's a huge part of bat and ball sports, is controlling that and staying in a good mindset. So I think that's still a lesson that we all need to learn and continue to be better in that area.
And then last thing I'll ask is, your freshman pitchers have put together some solid outings recently, but it kind of seems like whether it's been errors or lack of run support, they've been spoiled a little bit because of those. Just how do you keep their morale at a good level, whenever that happens?
Well, it's a collective effort across the board. So we're either getting it done or we're not getting it done. I've been pleased with how they've competed for us, and we need for them to continue to do that. So we're focusing a lot on, as a pitching staff, of just execution and competing and controlling the things we can control. I think they've done that for the most part. And we just need to continue to have each other's backs and collectively find a way to get it done together.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney, with UAB coming to town, it does provide a little bit of an opportunity to get away from the meat grinder, so to speak. Do you do anything differently from a lineup construction standpoint, even a pitching standpoint, to stay on that Friday to Sunday pace, but maybe a chance to kind of tweak here or there?
I think we'll do that as we see fit or as we need to. I think that it's interesting. We've never had, as far as I remember, I don't think we've ever had an SEC bye in the middle. So it's new for us. And I actually asked for it a couple of years ago, just because we've always had it at the beginning or the end. I wanted to see what it would do. And I'm curious how we approach it. I think when you look at this weekend, I don't think anything's going to change. I mean, when it comes to, we need to win, we were going to focus on winning each game that we're in and see what we need to do, what adjustments we need to make. I still don't think we found all the answers, but that doesn't matter who we're playing. I think that just matters on us still figuring out, how to be our best. Does that answer your question? I don't know.
I think so, because it is unique in the sense, because I expected you to say we need to keep winning, and you need to kind of continue that momentum. At the same time, it might have a little different feel than a conference game too. So it's always kind of unique, especially because it comes right in the middle and not at the beginning of your SEC season.
Yeah, I mean, it has a little different feel, but it also shouldn't have a different feel. Like we know we need to, no matter who we're playing, we need to bring our best, and everybody demands our best. And so I hope that we get fired up and get out there just wanting to get momentum, wanting to feel good, wanting us, but that comes from our approach and us just competing in the moment. And so I'm hoping that that's how we show up this weekend.
Can't be easy to schedule these series because other teams are playing in their conference too. So you need someone who's not playing, but UAB has played Alabama quite a couple times, Auburn, UCA. So it doesn't look like they've shied away from their competition they played.
No, not at all. I mean, they've played a tough schedule. They do a great job. It is hard when you're in the middle of conference schedules. I mean, you only have 7, 8, because not all conferences have buys, so you don't have a lot to choose from. And so it was really nice that it worked out with UAB. And so they're going to be a challenge. They are battle tested. They've played a tough schedule, like you just said. And so we're going to have a good challenge ahead of us.
Porter.
Coach, just with the emergence of UCA and really Arkansas as a whole in the athletic programs, they've never had that true in-state rival. I mean, could this possibly bloom into an in-state rival where you move it to a 3-game series instead of playing twice a year?
Well, not right now. I'm not too keen on scheduling them again, Porter. No, I like that we have the opportunity to play them. I like that we have the opportunity to play them, and they're such a great opponent. I think it's fun for both teams to get to play and to really supportive crowds. I mean, it was a really cool environment in Conway on Tuesday. I mean, they sold over 2,000 tickets. They don't typically charge. I know this isn't exactly what you're asking, but I do want to say that I think that our matchup is great for the state, and great for the sport in the state. And I know they were saying before that it was their second highest attended sporting event of the year, only behind the opening football game. That's a huge thing for UCA. It's a huge thing for softball in the state of Arkansas. And it's a huge thing for UCA softball. That softball team deserves that kind of crowd. They compete at an elite level. And they represent that university and that athletic program department so well. And so it's exciting for them to have that crowd at home. But so I don't know exactly what your question was. I know I went off on my tangent, but I know that our matchup is a fun one for the state of Arkansas and for little girls everywhere that are now playing more softball and seeing more high-level softball. And then when they have that exposure in this state, it's huge.
Well, that's what I was getting to, like maybe next year. Could this possibly turn into like a 3-game series?
Oh, yeah. No. Nah. Two's enough.
Last thing I got is just bouncing back off of that and coming into this UAB series. And I mean, how important is it to stay on task knowing you have, Tennessee coming up the following week to really get your ducks in a row?
It's going to be a big challenge in just staying in the moment and competing better. Not looking forward, not getting stuck, looking back. We need to figure out how to be better on Friday. And we need to figure out how to be better in a matchup with UAB. So it is a really big lesson in staying in the moment, and just controlling what we can control. And that's really, to me, what the most important thing is this weekend.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan.
I was going to ask about the crowd in Conway, but I think Courtney covered that well. So.
Brett.
All good.
All right.